Namaste. Welcome to yoga with chickens. Just a reminder to make sure you remember to breathe, and yoga breathing is just a breath in and a breath out. Rest when needed, grab water whenever you like, and stay with whatever level you feel comfortable with. Let's get started. We're gonna actually start in a tabletop position, so that's hands and knees with some company. And so, hands and knees, we're gonna pull your belly button in. We're gonna round and flex your spine to come into cat pose. Let your belly go. We're gonna roll your shoulders back. Lift your heart center as well as your sit bones up towards the ceiling. Come into cow. We're gonna pull your belly button back in, round and flex your spine back into cat. And then let your belly go, roll your shoulders back, coming into cow. Now we're gonna come into neutral pelvis, neutral spine, and tabletop. So abs engaged, shoulders stacked over your wrists. We're gonna tuck those toes under and just press your feet back. Just a really chance to stretch that fascia. Soften your elbows, engage your core because we're gonna lift your knees barely off the mat. So just hovering tabletop. From here, we're gonna lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling, shift your weight back on the balls of the feet and just ease in the stretch along your fascia, that connective tissue that runs along the bottom of your feet, into your Achilles, calf muscles, hamstrings, your back, even your shoulders. From downward facing dog, we're gonna come back into tabletop. So shoulders over your wrists, come down to your knees, and then we're gonna lift right arm, left leg off the mat for spinal balance. We're gonna return back to tabletop, left arm, right leg, back to tabletop, inhale, right arm, left leg, back to tabletop, inhale, left arm, right leg, so just warming up the back, and coming back to tabletop. Toes are tucked in, or you're gonna bring your knees off the mat to hover for a moment. Really engaging your core, soften your elbows, look forward. And then we're gonna lift your sit bones up towards the ceiling and shift your weight back on the balls of your feet. We're gonna walk your hands back, so you're gonna travel to the back of your mat. So here's a forward fold, just letting your head hang freely. There's a space between your legs. You're gonna shake your head yes and no. Rooting your heels and your toes, and just start to lift your sit bones up to really feel the hamstring stretch. And then from here, inhale, circle sweep up. Hands to heart center. Bending through your knees and your hips for forward fold once again. And take a look at the top of your mat. We're gonna walk your hands forward and make your way into plank, our first plank. So we're gonna draw your feet back, elbows are tucked under, and pull the belly button in. Now really charging and pressing your feet back. Feel free, this is a level 2 option to come down to where your knee meets your thigh. And here's a level 1, so your choice. I'm gonna focus on holding plank for a moment. If you're looking at a screen, you can try to find a chicken or two, maybe a rooster. And then we're gonna slowly lift your sit bones up back up towards the ceiling. Easy downward facing dog. We're gonna come forward to plank. Elbows are bent. Look forward, charge your legs. Pull the belly button in. Try not to sink through your hips and not nor lifting your bum up too high. We're gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly lower yourself straight down. Squeeze those triceps. 4-point staff, and then draw your big toes together into child's pose, that resting pose. We're gonna tuck your toes under, back to downward facing dog, and then forward to plank. Bend your elbows and slowly lower yourself, control it. Feel free to come to your knees. Use 4-point staff, back in the child's pose. Once more, we're gonna tuck your toes under, back to downward facing dog, forward to plank, 4-point staff, soft landing, back into child's pose. Press those sit bones back. We're gonna tuck your toes under and then come to downward facing dog. From here, we're gonna walk your hands back to join your feet. So as many hand steps as you need. Forward fold. Letting your head just hang free, shaking yes and no. Now we're gonna sit back in a chair. So shift the weight back on the balls of your feet, let your toes wiggle. And sitting back in a chair, draw your shoulders back. So heads above your heart, hearts above your tailbone. And taking your knees to tuck towards the second and third toe. So toes are free to wiggle. You're really into the balls of your feet. So here from chair, we're gonna press up to tall mountain. So no, press all 4 corners of your feet. Extend your legs. We're gonna tuck that tailbone under. And if you want, even ease into a back bend, we're gonna stay neutral. But arms are reaching high. If this is challenging for your back, you could take your hands and place on either side of your low back. So it's your choice. But listen to your back. Then we're gonna hands at heart center, hinging through your knees and your hips for forward fold. Take a look at the top of your mat. We're gonna walk your hands forward. Here's your plank. 4-point staff, squeeze, 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 down the mat. Big toes together, back into child's pose. We're gonna tuck those toes under, back in downward facing dog. Now we're gonna hold here. From here, we're gonna draw your knees back and really focusing, feeling the stretch, the back of your legs. Pull your shoulder blades back, chin away from your chest. And then we're gonna step the right foot back. So pointing your right toes behind you, maybe towards the ceiling, but don't shift forward. So really focusing here on your left heel, feeling the stretch along your left leg. The right leg is just building some heat. You're gonna bring your right foot back down. Again, focusing on that right heel, right knee, and stepping your left foot back. Doesn't matter how high you go, you're just building some heat to that left hip, but you're really focusing on stretching the right leg. And then we're gonna bring your left leg down. We're gonna come forward to plank. Draw your feet back, belly button pulled in. Take a look forward. We're gonna hold it for 5 more. It's a count of 5, not 5 chicken making sounds. That would be spec. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly lower yourself straight up. Use your triceps. Control it. Don't be in a rush to come down. Big toes together, back in the child's pose. We're gonna tuck your toes under, back in down facing dog. Step the right foot back for 3-legged dog. And now from here, we're gonna bring your right knee towards your forehead. Scoop those abs in and hold. We're gonna step the right foot back. And then look forward. Now we're gonna step your right foot through. So 1 or many steps for that lower lunge. Keep your hands here and draw your left leg back. Belly pulled in, shoulders pulled back. That would be spec. Now here, we're gonna come to a twist. So take your left hand, left thumb right inside your right foot. Take your right hand out, maybe to the chicken coop, and then take a look back. Reach the right hand to the ceiling. Draw your left leg back. If you need to, feel free to come to that left knee. But don't pivot that left foot. We're gonna slowly bring your right hand back down. And then we're gonna step back into plank. So keep your hands, shoulders forward, step back to plank. Elbows are tucked under, we do a slight drop. Press back to plank, all the way down, squeeze your triceps. Control that landing. Big toes together, back into child's pose. We're gonna tuck your toes under, back in down facing dog. We're gonna step that left foot back. Then bring your left knee towards your forehead. So round flex your spine like the cat. We did that at the very beginning of class. We're gonna step back. Now step your left foot through, here's lower lunge. Both sets still stay facing forward. Even if you need to come down to the right knee, trying to keep your hips square. So your choice, where you wanna be, pull the belly button in. Now we're gonna add a twist. So take your right thumb and bring it right inside your left foot so you're nice and snug. Draw your chest into that left thigh. Take your left hand to the ceiling. So here's your twist. Trying to let that left shoulder roll back. Reach your left hand to the ceiling. Again, feel free to come to your right knee or not. But don't pivot that left foot. Scoop your abs in. Pull that left shoulder down. We're gonna slowly bring your left hand back down. So take a moment to square yourself. We're gonna step back to plank. Do a slight drop. I'm back to plank. Here's 4-point staff. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Now we're gonna reverse it. So feel free to come to your knees. Pull the belly in. It's a lot of core and a lot of arms. We're gonna try to press back to plank. Again, however you need to get there. Soften your elbows, look forward. We're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're gonna shift forward. Use your toes, shift yourself forward. It's really subtle. And then press back to downward facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back. We're gonna step your right foot through for lower lunge. So both sets toes facing forward. Draw your left leg back. Sweep those arms back and up. So come into high lunge. Draw your left leg back. Feel free to bring your hands at heart center, but trying to have ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, and try not to sink into that left knee. So if you want to, come down to the knee or you're up. You're not a little bit. The right knee is tracking towards that second and third toe. Now just let your shoulders come forward a bit. Let your ears come forward. So you really shorten that muscle, less groin stretch. So we're gonna bring your ears back, shoulders back, right hand, hands to the ceiling, pull your belly button. It sounded like a good idea. Teach in front of the chickens. And now they all want to be on camera. So from high lunge, we're gonna bring those hands down either side of that right foot. Step back to plank. Find your plank. A slight drop. Press back to plank. Hi, Joel. And now we're gonna slowly come all the way down. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Pull your belly button in, and we're gonna reverse it. So feel free to use your knees. Press back up. Then we're gonna shift forward, and then press back to down facing dog. We're gonna step the left foot back. Then we're gonna bring your left foot through for lower lunge. So both sets of toes facing forward. And then sweep those hands back and up, come to high lunge. Again, shoulders over hips, let the groin stretch happen. Left knee tracking towards the second and third toe, arms tall, hands at heart center. So commit here, you're on the right knee or you're off. So draw the right leg back, really feeling the stretch. Now, we're gonna let your shoulders come forward. So you shorten that right hip flexor, and then bring it back. Hi. So this is Joel, my rooster. He's trying to figure out what on earth are you doing? Because I never do yoga in front of the chickens. I usually do it on the other side of the yard. And then we're gonna slowly bring your hands down, pull those abs in, step back to plank. Now we're gonna add on. So you're in plank. We're gonna slowly drop down, press back to plank. We're gonna come all the way down. 4-point staffs, control. We're gonna press back to plank, use your knees or not. Then we're gonna shift forward, and we're gonna draw your chest over your thumbs. We're gonna cobra. Roll your shoulders back, elbows are tucked in, hands are on the mat or not. Press back to down facing dog. We're gonna step the right foot back. Step your right foot through for lower lunge. Bring those hands up for high lunge. Hi guys. Again, you choose. On the knee, hands at heart center, hands to the ceiling. Pull your belly button in. Think where the right knee is tracking. Now we're gonna bring your elbows up to the sides. So a chance to really just open up your chest. Imagine that you're drawing your shoulder blades down and towards one another. Elbows can be at your sides or towards, it doesn't matter, but I really want you to take a moment. You're holding your lunge position to build some heat. We're taking a moment to really stretch your chest and really use your back muscles here. How about your core? Come on, engage your core. We're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You're still in lunge. Bring your fingertips back up towards the ceiling. We're gonna take your palms together and cross your right thumb over your left. We're gonna come to the tips of your left toes. Now start to hinge to your hips. Trying to keep your back straight and start to reach forward. So you've shifted more of the weight onto that right leg. Draw your left knee back. So you still got a nice, strong, solid leg. We're gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands down the side of the right foot. Step back to plank. Find your plank. Do a slight drop. Press back to plank. There's 4-point staff all the way down. Control it. Elbows should be nice and snug. We're gonna press back up to plank. Then we're gonna shift forward. Here's your chaturanga. So draw the lower chest over your thumbs. Roll shoulders back. Hands are light. They can be on the mat. They don't have to be. And press back to down facing dog. We're gonna step the left foot back. Focusing on a moment of stretching the right leg. Then we're gonna step your left foot through for lower lunge. So both sets of toes facing forward. And then come up to high lunge. You choose on the knee, hands at heart center. Pull your belly in, really let the groin stretch happen. And the left knee's tracking towards the second and third toe. Come on, engage your core here. Then we're gonna maintain this lunge, just to build some heat here. We're gonna draw your elbows out to the sides, a chance to just use your back muscles here and stretch your chest. Palms are facing the same direction as your heart center. Come on, draw the right leg back. Pull those abs in. We're gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly bring your fingertips back up towards the ceiling. Palms together, we're gonna cross your left thumb over your right. We're gonna come to the tips of your right toes and now shift forward a bit. Still trying to keep a nice straight line with your torso, so not rounding. We're not resting on that left thigh at all. Draw the right knee back. Right leg is nice and straight. We're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands down the other side of that left foot. Step back to plank. Find your plank. There's 4-point staff all the way down. Big toes together and back in the child's pose. Grab water when you need to. Stay in this resting pose as long as you like. And just join us when you're ready. We're gonna walk those hands forward. Tuck your toes in and come back to down facing dog. From here, we're gonna walk your hands back to join your feet. So back in a forward fold. Then we're gonna sit back in a chair. So find your chair, drop your sit bones back.
Heads above your heart. Think of what your knees are tracking. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna press up to tall mountain. So use your legs are powerful, with or without a back bend. We're gonna sit back in a chair. We're gonna hold that for 5. Sit back a little bit deeper for 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna press up to tall mountain. Use your legs to power you up, with or without a back bend. Sitting back in a chair. Now we're gonna hold chair. So here, lower body's gonna stay. We're gonna change upper body. We're gonna draw your elbows out, just like we did in a lunge pose. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and towards one another. Heads above your heart. Holding for 5, 4, heads above your hearts. Come on, sink down through your sit bones for 3. Wiggle your toes for 2. When we're gonna stay in chair, we're gonna extend your arms back on either side of your ears. Put your fingertips forward or to the ceiling. And just sink back a little bit deeper. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna come into mountain. So bring your hands down to your sides. Roll your shoulders back. So a chance to stretch your chest. Tailbone is tucked under. Press your hands slightly past midline. Just a chance to really open. Then we're gonna sit back in a chair. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's tall mountain. With or without your back bend, your choice. We sit back in the chair. We're gonna hold chair. We draw your elbows out to your sides. We're gonna hold for 5, 4, abs pulled in for 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna reach your fingertips up. Still in chair. You wish. We're gonna press up to tall mountain, with or without a back bend. And then we're gonna hinge all the way down. Swan dive down. Imagine you're diving into a pool. Take a moment for forward fold, hands wherever's comfortable for you. Lift your sit bones up, really feel a stretch. Grab a block if you want. Hands at opposite elbows. Now take a look forward. We're gonna walk your hands forward and make your way to plank. So we're gonna work on core a bit here. Here's your plank. We're gonna give your legs a bit of a rest. So holding plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna start with your left elbow forearm, followed by your right, and we're gonna walk down to bent elbow plank. Press your feet back. Feel free either plank to come down to your knees, but you're trying to keep your thighs off the mat. So you're not here, that's not doing anything. So find that bent elbow plank, holding for 5. Come on, suck your belly in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Walking with your left hand under your shoulder, followed by your right. Back to high plank for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leading with your right elbow forearm, followed by your left. Bent elbow plank here. Go and pull your shoulder blades back, look forward, charge your legs back. Pull your abs in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leading with your right hand, followed by your left. Walk up to high plank. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna come down to our knees. Walk your hands back so you're back into tabletop. Remember where we started? So your knees are here. Back to tabletop. Toes are tucked under, bend your elbows. Pull your belly button in. You're bringing your knees off the mat to hover for a moment. Hovering tabletop. Knees are not touching the mat, but you're also not sticking your bum in the air. We'll hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here's your rest. Lift your sit bones up toward the ceiling. Shift your weight back into downward facing dog. Back to hovering tabletop. So shoulders over your wrists. Bring your knees to hover. If you want to, bounce down and come back up. That's where you know where you are. Now look forward. You don't have to look at your hands. And we're gonna hold hovering tabletop. Adding on, you ready? Right hand, then you take your left shoulder, back to hovering tabletop. Left hand, take your right shoulder, back to hovering tabletop. Knees stay off the mat. We're gonna walk your hands forward into high plank. Find high plank. Left elbow forearm, walk down to lower plank, bent elbow plank. Feel free to come to your knees. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left hand, walk up to high plank, followed by right. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now bring your knees to hover and walk your hands back to hovering tabletop. So find that hovering tabletop position. You want to bounce your knees up. Left hand is going to take your right shoulder. Back to hovering tabletop. Right hand, left shoulder, hovering tabletop. Walk those hands forward, back to plank. So take a moment. Now right elbow forearm, followed by left, bent elbow plank. We've got 5 here. Look forward for 4. Breathing for 3, 2, 1, right hand, followed by left, high plank. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to down facing dog. And then walk those hands back for forward fold. We're gonna walk those hands up and make your way into mountain, a resting pose. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, tailbone tucked under. Just focusing on breathing in and breathing out. So I'm gonna take a moment to stretch your chest here. So you can interlace your fingers, and if you can, collapse the space between your wrists. If this is challenging for you, you can grab opposite wrists, or reach around and grab a strap or a towel, roll your shoulders back, draw those hands away from your body, tuck your tailbone under. So you're not sticking your bum out, you're not sitting in chair. Now bring that bind away from your bum, away from your back. So let your shoulders ready. It's hard to do rolling forward and then try to lift. So tall, mountain, roll your shoulders back, and then lift away. There you go. Trying to collapse that space between your wrists. You've got 5 to go here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're gonna release into mountain. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, tailbone tucked under, abs engaged. Weight equally in your right foot and left foot. Belly pulled in. Once more. So we're gonna roll your shoulders back. A chance to stretch that chest. Again, use your towel if you want, or a strap, or whatever you've got. And then bring that bind away from you. You've got to start with the shoulders rolled back though, so be aware of that. Try not to stick your bum out. Come on, that's gonna put some strain on that low back. Keep the tailbone tucked under. We're gonna hold chest expansion for 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now we're gonna slowly release. Well, now we're gonna just work on the spine a bit. So here, we're gonna tip-top the spine. So we're gonna start with your feet together. Usually they're hip level apart. So weight it equally though on your right foot and left foot. Trying to ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, and we're gonna bring your arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers and leave your pointer fingertips out. Squeeze your ears, or right behind your ears. So squeeze your head though. So you're not here. Okay, nice and locked. Now you're gonna press your pelvis out to one side, and upper body's gonna lean the opposite way. So you're gonna counterbalance. Now legs, you're not gonna sink into your knees, so legs are straight. Squeeze your thighs together. We're gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly come up. And then you're gonna press your pelvis out to the left. Upper body's gonna come to the right. Again, try not to sink into your knees. If you need to, let your right shoulder roll forward. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna come back to center. So change your grip. So now cross the other thumb over. Okay, still nice and tall, tailbone tucked under, squeeze your thighs. We're gonna lean to the right. No, pelvis is gonna go to the right, upper body's gonna lean to the left. There you go. We're gonna come up, opposite way. Now we're gonna move a bit quicker. So we're gonna tick-tock this spine. We're gonna come to neutral, and then we're gonna go lean to the left, come back up, lean to the right, come back up, lean to the left. Now we're gonna hold. So let your left shoulder fall forward. Here's your first point of resistance. Now together, we're gonna let your breath out. Big breath in here. And this breath out, we're gonna go a bit deeper. Come on, challenge it. We got 5 to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna come up. We're gonna change your thumb grip. We're gonna press your pelvis up to your left. Upper body's gonna lean to the right. Kind of just settling in that first point of resistance. Try not to sink into your knees. Let your right shoulder fall forward a bit. And hold here for 5, 4, 3, abs pulled in 2, and 1. Now ready, let your breath out. Wherever you're in the breath cycle, big breath in. And now we're gonna go to the second point of resistance. Breath out, we're gonna go a little bit deeper. Let that pelvis go to the left. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna come up. And just release in a mountain. So here, we're gonna bring your hands to either side of your low back. We're gonna press your pelvis forward, roll your shoulders back, and just open. Just a chance to stretch your belly. And then we're gonna slowly come up. Arms at either side of your ears. We're gonna come forward fold. So we start to hinge. And pull the belly in. We're gonna bend your knees, and we're gonna try to cup your heels. So from behind or from the side. So bend your knees, bend your elbows. Tuck your chin in. Press your heels into your hands. That's your bind. Now lift your sit bones up. So we're gonna scoop your abs in. Big breath out here, wherever you are on your breath cycle. Big breath in here. And now ready, breath out, we're gonna go a bit deeper. Just let the forward fold happen. Your legs should be warm. And then we're gonna slowly release. Walk those hands up your legs, listen to your back, pull those abs in, come in a mountain. So find your mountain. Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. From here, we're gonna walk those hands down the forward fold. Bend your knees, we're gonna walk those hands forward, walk those legs back into plank. Favorite pose of a few, maybe favorite pose of mine. Pull the belly in, we're gonna hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift your sit bones up, downward facing dog, roll your shoulders back. We're gonna step the right foot back. I'm gonna bring your right foot and step it to the outside of your right hand. So it's gonna look like a diagonal lunge. Come down to your left knee. So the right foot's outside your right hand. Now just sink down. So we're gonna come down maybe to that right elbow, coming down. Just gonna feel the stretch to that groin. Now we're gonna let your right knee roll it to the side. So you're gonna come to rest on the outside of that right foot. So you've externally rotated that right hip. Really just changing where in that hip you're gonna feel that stretch. Feel free to come to elbows and forearms. Now lowering yourself down, you can come up off that left knee. It's your lizard pose. But I want you to take a moment, just take some deep breaths. A little bit deeper if you want. You got 5 to go. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly come up. Take time. Now that was your side, the knees love. Do it again. Stay here longer. Others, we're gonna slowly come back to downward facing dog. Then we're gonna switch sides. So step your left foot back, bring your left foot forward, and feet outside your left hand, come down to your right knee. So before we externally rotate, lower yourself down, drop that upper body down a bit. Then let your left knee roll to the side. Pull the belly button in. You see pop top? You can just check it out what's going on. Looking for worms. Again, just ease into that stretch, challenge it. You can come all the way down to elbows, forearms, depending on where you need. Come up off that right knee and just breathe. We've got 5 to go here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slowly come up. We're gonna step that left foot back to downward facing dog. We're gonna come down to our knees and make our way into child's pose. So draw your big toes together. Just drop your sit bones back. Walk your hands forward, starfish hands, and then just pull your shoulder blades down your spine. So just a chance to stretch across the upper back, your shoulders. And then from here, we're gonna roll ourselves onto our backs. So on our backs, knees in the chest, scoop those abs in, hands down to your sides. Now press those feet up towards the ceiling, trying to have the balls of your feet over your hips. This is great if you stand or you sit a lot during the day. It's called staff pose, not to be confused as 4-point staff. You can even do this alongside a wall. It's great pose to do at the end of your day, just to get all that blood, that circulation going from that blood that's been maybe pooling in your ankle, your feet. Try not to bend your knees. So you're also gonna feel a little bit of a hamstring stretch here as well. So we're gonna hold staff pose just for 5 more. 4, 3, you're holding but pressing as well, so it is active and engaging. Where am I in my count? 2 more. 1, we're gonna bring your knees into chest, reach around and just pull your knees out to each armpit to escape your rib cage. We're gonna hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knees back together. We're gonna place your feet down onto the mat. And we're gonna draw your right knee in towards your chest, and we're gonna point your right toes at the ceiling. Now, the left leg, we're gonna bring it down flat to the mat, with those left toes reaching the ceiling. So your left foot's gonna be flexed, and your right toes are pointed. Now take one hand on your calf, your shin, and the other hand is gonna cross over the knee and be on your thigh. So you're not putting any pressure on your knee joint, but we're just trying to keep that leg as straight as possible. Now we're gonna flex your right foot. So don't put your toes like a ballerina anymore. This just elongates those hamstrings a bit. So we're gonna hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, you've got the hold in place. Now try to just draw those toes over your head. Really challenge that hamstring stretch here. Don't be afraid, you've worked really hard to warm up, so we've got 5 to go here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna back up. Bend your knee and just bring that right knee to your chest. And then bring your right leg down. Left knee in towards your chest, right leg is straight, foot is flexed. Now we're gonna point your left toes to the ceiling, point your toes like a ballerina. One hand's gonna go on your calf shin, the other hand's gonna be on your thigh. Now flex that foot. And just gonna hold here. Pull those abs in, right leg is nice and straight. We're gonna hold there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're gonna challenge it. So just going past that kind of first point of resistance, and don't be afraid to challenge it. The more you bend your knee, the less stretch you're gonna have. So if you need to, keep your hand on your thigh, never your knee joint. Holding for 5, breathe. Focusing on just surrendering to the stretch. 4, I think I said that. 3, 2, and 1. We're gonna slightly back off. Bend your knee, bring your knee into your chest, and then bring your knee out towards that armpit to escape your rib cage. We're gonna hold that with your left leg. We're gonna bring your right knee in to your chest, and then out to the armpit. So both knees are in either armpit to escape your rib cage. And bring your knees together, and slowly release one heel followed by the other. And just make your way into Shavasana. Hands down to your sides, let your feet fall away from midline. Resting on your head and your spine. Let your shoulders roll back so your shoulder blades are pressing into your mat. And just surrender to the mat, to the plane flying overhead, to the chickens, whatever's going on. You don't need to look at the screen. Just focusing on your breath in and your breath out. Finding your space on the mat. Above you, beneath you, to your right, to your left. Try to quiet your mind. And then, when you're ready, you're going to slowly open your eyes, focusing on your gaze on nothing. When you're ready, we're gonna roll ourselves over onto one side, doesn't matter which. Taking a moment to stack your hips and your shoulders. So this is pose of the unborn child. It's a nice transition up into a seated position. So we're gonna crisscross those legs. We tend to like to crisscross one way. I want you to try doing the opposite way. Sitting on both sit bones, ears over shoulder, shoulders over hips. Pull your shoulder blades down, abs pulled in, hands at heart center. And I say namaste. Thank you for sharing your energy with me. Thanks for putting up with my chickens and all the outside distractions. Hi, Hillary. Just a reminder, don't forget to subscribe to Everyday Life Yoga with Kim. Hit the little bell sign to get notifications. Like my videos, comment, shoot me an email, find me on Facebook. Have a fabulous day.